Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. I will ride with this group. Seriously, man. Please. And away we go.
Feedback Friday on Purple Daily, live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, where we turn the show over to you guys. We take all your comments, questions, concerns, critiques, your theories, some reckless speculation, and we put it all in a bin. We also have our snake draft of the week coming up later on this Feedback Friday. People are sending in, because next week training camp starts, so Judd's camp notes are ready to rock and roll starting midweek next week. Mm-hmm. But Monday, we're going to give you a couple episodes on Monday. So this weekend, we've got Purple Access, we've got Vent Line with Dex, and then Monday, we've got 2 episodes of Purple Daily, including a 53-man roster projection. And then Tuesday is our Mr. Mankato draft, and the audience has been sending in alternate names for Mr. Mankato because they haven't been in Mankato for a long time, or we look for the under-the-radar training camp performers. So people are sending in some fun ones. The Earl of Egan from Marcus.
Earl.
Okay.
Nah.
Like
it's amusing.
Yeah.
I laughed.
Mr. TCO is another one that came in. Kind of like that one, actually. Mr.
Like that
TCO.
I like that one.
Royce with the Egan Everyman. I think we maybe call it Mr. Mankato, a.k.a.
Right.
something.
Because I have seen some notes of those who say leave it as that name. It's a great tribute.
It is a great name.
Yeah.
The alliteration.
So keep. We do like alliteration. I think the TCO angle is interesting. So keep the recommendations coming here for a new name. But before we get into the Feedback Friday bin, let's get into the Quick Trip bin. Judd, gasoline, food, you name it.
That's so true. That's the thing is the Quick Trip bin, its silos are enormous because there's no end. Look right there. That's not just a snack, folks. That is perhaps breakfast, lunch, dinner. You're driving home. You need gasoline. The car is near E. You're like Phil, and you take it too low, and you're going to have to go fill up. And then you're like, you know what? I need a pizza, something like that. Guess where you stop? Quick Trip. The service. It's fast. It's courteous. Again, I will say this. I went to a Quick Trip a couple of days back, and there's multiple cashiers there. Do you know how many times you stop in a convenience store and there's some guy in the back who's like, I'll be right there? Not at Quick Trip. Quick Trip is the professionals. And again, we would love to see, and I appreciate because I got a few of these yesterday, your trip to Quick Trip.
Listener John sent one in here from
John,
yesterday.
thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Exactly right. Look at all those selections. So your trip to Quick Trip at Score North, at Jay Zolgad, we appreciate when you support those who support us, and Quick Trip really supports Purple Daily.
Yes. Amen. Amen. Okay. Christoph Corner says, hey guys, I want to piggyback something you guys have talked about various times and also most recently. Are we really sure the Vikings defense will take another step forward? They lost Danielle Hunter, and we can't just omit the final games of the season where the defense broke down a little bit.
Yep. Great point.
It's been revealed earlier Flores was using a pretty unique defensive scheme taken from college that does not only include heavy blitzing, but also zone coverage behind it. It seems offenses playing the Vikings at the end of the year figured out how to play against the new approach defensively, with yet another offseason of opponents studying the defense and the personnel not really improving overall. We'll put a pin in that. I don't know if I agree.
Yeah, put up.
Can we really expect the same outcome, let alone a better outcome?
I'll go first. Yes. I think we've talked about this. And look, like this show does not blow smoke. So if we didn't think that the defense was going to be good, we'd say so. Here's where I see improvement, okay? One is Danielle Hunter, and we've discussed this, but Danielle Hunter being gone hurts. But I actually think that the edge room, and that's right, there's a room. It's called the edge room, where you get the edge rushers. I think the room's improved. Football. Like, you've got more there. There's no question that defensive tackle still concerns me. But beyond that, linebackers, safeties, and I even think corners might be improved. To the point about the fact that Flores took some ideas from what Pittsburgh ran defensively, and yes, it was unique, and no, it's probably not sustainable for a long period of time, and Brian Flores knows that. I do think they're going to go to more man coverage. That's the hope. Now, if it doesn't work, it's a problem. I also think that, as Dukes told us, Josh Metellus, the multiple position safety, told him, I'm going to be used more as a linebacker this year. Brian Flores is not going to come back and rest on his laurels of what he did. He's going to mix things up. Teams have now studied what he did, and it's a good point. They did struggle. Now they had some injuries late in the season, starting with the Bengals game. But I think there is a very good case to be made that this defense will be improved, and certainly I like the personnel more going into 2024 or 24 than I did 23.
I think we also have to set what is the bar for improvement, and where is the ceiling for this defense in general. Like, I think saying it's a top 10 defense is too far-fetched, at least right now on paper. I think them being a top 10 defense in 2024 overnight, even with a more surplus of players that they didn't have last year, I just think the inexperience and the question marks are too much to say it's going to be a top 10 defense. Can they be, though, which is I feel like I'm a broken record with my expectations for the Vikings defense the last 3 years. Can you be really good at certain things? Can you be good on third downs? Can you be good in the red zone? Can you be good at pressuring the quarterback? Can you find a few things that you can be really good at to get the stops when you need them? And I think that's kind of the biggest thing that I want to see from the Flores defense. Yeah, I mean, setting the house and blitzing like crazy, that might come down a little bit, but at the end of the day, can you be really good at certain things when you really need your defense to come through? And I think that's kind of my expectation for this defense this year.
And you just like listed the situational third down, red zone, and I'm going to piggyback off what Dex is saying. How do you get better on third down, which is usually a must pass down? You get better at rushing the passer. How do you get better in the red zone, which is, again, a lot of, especially like outside the 5, it's a lot of passing. It's tight quarters. So if you can throw quarterbacks off their spot, the whole thing comes down to this. Judd mentioned the edge rusher room. Last year, the Vikings had one reliable pass rusher. This year, they might have 3 on paper. Now, is Danielle Hunter the best of the 4 if you put all 4 in a ranking? Probably. It also wasn't necessarily a system catered to his strengths. He's more of a 4-3 traditional defensive end edge rusher. But they have 3 potentially credible high-end edge rushers going into 2024. Grenard, Van Ginkel in that Flores system with experience too, and then one of the top, Dallas Turner, one of the top young edge rushers in the draft. That room is more talented than it was a year ago. And, on the cornerback side, Mekhi Blackman getting a year older. I think bringing in Shaq Griffin, we'll see, what's left in his tank at age 28, 29. Caleb Evans. There's just more experience for the guys that got snaps last year. I have a hard time saying that they don't have better personnel and depth on defense than a year ago.
And the guys that are back, and this sort of translates to what we've previously discussed about the Dolphins defense year 1 with Flores into year 2. The guys who are back are going to have a much better comprehension of what is actually a very complex system. So, yeah, I gained a lot of faith in Flores when I saw him take a defense that had been terribly coached, but also wasn't good, like just struggled with the fundamentals of what they were trying to do, and made them very, in my opinion, competitive at least.
Okay, let's go to, this is a developing Feedback Friday item here.
Breaking news.
So it was KOC on with Paul Allen this morning,
yeah,
KFXN radio.
I think he played a game with the morning show and then stuck around.
Okay, so he's like hanging out in studio.
Yep.
And again, we're doing this show live, so we did not hear this happen. But apparently KOC told KFXN radio it'll be an open competition between J.J. McCarthy and Sam Darnold in training camp. Interesting. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are this. This is the very, very delicate line that Kevin O'Connell is going to walk when it comes to his quarterbacks in training camp, okay? I think he wants to do everything he can to dial the pressure down on McCarthy, but I don't think he wants to dial it down to a point where people are now saying, oh, McCarthy's going to be the third string guy. Don't worry about it. So do I think that this changes the fact that the plan is for Darnold to start against the Giants September 8th? No, I don't. Do I think that McCarthy's not going to be allowed to compete? No, I don't. So I think, again, this all comes back to Kevin O'Connell trying to manage expectations both ways, right? So you don't want fans or you don't want the assumption being, well, if J.J. McCarthy doesn't start against the Giants, something is wrong. But I also don't think you want people just assuming, well, he can be the third guy. Nick Mullins sticks, and you won't even see him. That's where I think he's operating in like a bumper car, and he's trying to keep it in the middle. And so when it gets too much towards the, don't worry about McCarthy till 25, he's like, whoa, that's not accurate.
Yeah.
Because he also wants
that would look really bad. Like, yeah.
And what's the message to McCarthy then? Like, if you're like, hey, JJ, don't worry about any, you're
not good enough.
Dude's a competitor. So that's what I think he's doing. But I will say it's an interesting quote.
Yeah. Okay. So developing. We may have an actual true quarterback competition in training camp. He's also probably, if they have plans to give J.J. McCarthy a bunch of reps or even like 25% of the reps with the first team offense, I think he wants to get that out there. It doesn't hurt to just sort of, because the problem is if you say Sam Darnold's the guy and then all of a sudden J.J. McCarthy's getting 25-30% of the snaps, then the Judd Zolgads with their camp notes are going to say, wait a second,
here.
What's wrong with Sam Darnold? Is he?
That's day one right there. JJ versus Sam. Like, that's going to be, this notebook's going to be filled up with controversial takes.
And away we go.
Let's see here. Brian Watson. And actually, this I've seen this variation of this from a few people, this question the last couple days. Some reckless speculation. He says, what do you think of this reckless speculation? So Jordan Addison seems to be a liability. I don't know if I go that far yet. He's had some issues that need to be monitored, and he needs to grow up a little bit, it sounds like. But Brian says, if Addison is getting into trouble with rookie scale money, what do you think he's going to do when he gets $30-40 million?
I love this point.
That's a fair question.
Yes, it is.
How about the Vikings call the 49ers and say, hey, Brandon Aiyuk, you guys have some cap problems. We don't. He's demanding a trade. We've got a young, less expensive wide receiver that we could send your way. Why not call the 49ers about a Brandon Aiyuk, Jordan Addison swap?
What's Ayuk's asking price? Because he wants a new contract. Like, that's this whole thing. He wouldn't ask out of San Francisco unless he wants a huge contract.
Probably 25 plus million a year.
I'm not paying that. No, thank you. He's a great player, and yes, the Vikings have freed up some cap space, which is awesome, but they have other positions of need. And I'll go back to what I just said. They have finally freed up some cap space. I don't want to tie it up with a number 2 receiver behind Jefferson, who, what you just said, Phil, is probably true, is going to make that much. But he opens up a very interesting door to walk through about Addison's future here and what he is eventually going to get paid, because he needs to clean up his act soon, or I think he's a rookie contract and done guy.
Let me give you the puzzle this way. Would you rather have, for the next 3 years, just forget about contract for a second, so Aiyuk is 26 and Addison's what, 23?
He's got to be young.
He's a young kid, right?
22.
22, okay. Who would you rather have for the next 3 years? Brandon Aiyuk or Jordan Addison?
Go ahead, Dex. You can answer that.
Probably Aiyuk.
It is easily Aiyuk for me, just to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Blocking, big plays down. He's one of the best big play down the field wide receivers. And he's great at capitalizing on defenses paying attention to his teammates and him getting open down the field. Oh, you're going to pay attention to George Kittle and Deebo Samuel? Cool, I'll just go for 100 yards. I'll just make a 40-yard catch down the field, right? Mm-hmm. So, Judd, next 3 years, Aiyuk or Jordan Addison?
With the way things are going now, too, Aiyuk.
So then the only hang-up would be the financials, right? The $25 million versus Addison's rookie scale contract.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, this is the luxury you have when, if J.J. McCarthy is going to be your starting quarterback for most of the next 5 years on a rookie scale deal, you can afford. This is why the Dolphins can have 2 highly paid receivers in that crazy offense around Tua. It's why the 49ers have been able to have some highly paid players around with Brock Purdy and, they took a shot with what's his name, Trey Lance. I'm just saying, like, I think you could make it work and also still pay Christian Darrisaw because you have a lot of cap space to play with here the next few years.
Yeah, I just think that there's positions that now if Aiyuk was going to be your top receiver, I think it's a different conversation on the financials. But with where the Vikings are going and what they need, and I think the freedom to spend in March, the contract stops me. Like that's what stops me. Talent, well, both of them are talented. You're right. From what he would bring from a veteran standpoint, but I mean, I'm sure the Vikings are hoping Addison gets his act together, but I think the right word is concern. Right now, it's a definite concern.
Yeah. I don't think they would pay 2 wide receivers, and I see that 90% of the comments here on YouTube are saying Jordan Addison, which, again, like Vikings fans, you're going to support your player. And Addison's a really good player. I mean, look at the rookie season. He had almost 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. Aiyuk is a more complete player. We're like, if Addison could become what Aiyuk has become for the Niners, that would be the holy grail for the Vikings.
I'll throw a scenario, a bit of reckless speculation at you.
Reckless speculation.
If you fill some needs in free agency next March, like let's say you get your big defensive tackle, and let's say you get a guard or something, okay?
Yeah.
And you spend a lot on the defensive tackle, and you spend a pretty damn good amount on the guard. One scenario, if you don't trust Jordan, that I can see is first-round wide receiver.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know enough about the class. We've got some professionals.
Yeah, there's always a bunch of good receivers. I feel
right,
like
but it feels like
5 or
it's a
6
position
years.
that there's been an addition of like really good talent. So
Yeah.
I wonder if you would consider that, because I wouldn't be adverse to adding a receiver who's really good on a rookie contract again, especially if I think that Addison is going to be, a guy that you get through his first contract and then peace out on, just based on, I ain't paying like the guy who's doing this stuff off the field right now. He ain't getting a big contract from me.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're more likely, whether it's, I don't know, next year might be a little soon, but I think you're more likely to draft a wide receiver in the first or second round than you are to pay Jordan Addison a huge contract alongside Justin Jefferson's huge contract. So, okay, Southern Exile says, after watching the receiver documentary, I'd love to hear in which order the three of you would take the other receivers on the Vikings if Jefferson was not on the team. So if we took Jefferson out, how would you rank? Now, Dex has been like in Vegas. I'm guessing you probably haven't watched Receiver on Netflix.
I've gotten through an episode and a half.
Yeah.
So far.
I just finished the whole thing. I finally watched the last 2 episodes a couple nights ago. So how would you rank Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Amon-Ra St. Brown in order of which ones you'd want on the Vikings if Jefferson was not on the team?
Can I take Kittle off because they've got a tight end and
No.
so he's my last guy.
Just answer the question.
So he's my last guy because he's not because he's not good, but age, I wouldn't mess with him. Right now, if I were to do it, I would actually go 1 St. Brown, 2 Devontae, 3 Deebo based on injuries and the fact that he has had his ass kicked 6 ways to Sunday. And Kittle last, not because I don't like him, but because age and, again, injury concerns to me are going to start to multiply there. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, I was so impressed. I didn't know a damn thing about this kid as far as like personality-wise. Really, really impressed.
I agree with you. I would go Amon-Ra St. Brown number 1 with a gap, and then I would go Deebo Samuel number 2. Because Devontae Adams has had some injury things, and Devontae Adams is like 32 years old now too.
He's older.
He's way older than people
And there's
think.
there's a lot of baggage on that sideline at times.
It's funny, he puts himself out there as this team. It's all about the team, but then he had the comments about I don't judge myself off wins and losses. I judge myself off greatness. They're like, okay. But then like the next week they win ugly with Antonio Pierce as the head coach. He's like, doesn't matter how it looks. We got the win. That's all that matters is the win. It's like, well, which is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I put Deebo 1 still because I'm just looking at the best player when healthy, and I think Deebo's the best of that group. So I know there's injuries there. I know he's been banged up a little bit, but I would put Debo number 1 in terms of the guys I'd like on this list. I put Amon-Ra second. He looks like he's a stud. There probably is going to be even a big breakout, if you can call it that, bigger season from him entering this year. I put him 2. I would probably put, I like George Kittle. George Kittle's awesome. I think he's badass. I know the Vikings have a tight end in T.J. Hawkinson, but he's an awesome
Imagine having
dude.
both those guys and
I
all
know.
the 12 personnel you could be running.
Yeah, hell yeah.
George Kittle blocks a lot better than Hawkinson.
And all the, just shameless plug, all the WWE watch parties that George Kittle would join Purple Daily for, since he's like the biggest WWE fan on the planet. And then Devontae last, just because, the age. He even mentioned in that first episode, like, I know I don't have many more years left playing at this level, and that's obviously a pretty self-aware thing to say. So, Debo would be my number 1 guy, though, I think, on this list.
Austin Robinson says, "Hello, I hope this message finds you before I do."
No, that's good.
Kind of funny.
He has the most pertinent question, he says. "I've recently adopted a dog, and I will be getting my dog a Vikings jersey. The issue arises with toys.
Nice.
I'm not sure I should get him a Vikings chew toy, or a Packers chew toy. On one hand, I want to continue showing Vikings pride, but on the other hand, I want my dog to learn that the Packers are the enemy. If I were to get a Packers toy, I think he might associate the logo with being bad, which is a good thing. But a point of confusion is that dogs are colorblind, and so he might confuse the Georgia Bulldogs logo with the Packers logo.
Sure.
And think the Georgia Bulldogs are bad too, but I think that's a sacrifice I am willing to make. Thank you for your time in answering this question."
I think there's a misconception about chew toys. I think, like in my case, Stella, she's got her chew toys, and she's got a ton of them. We're stupid. We bought way too many chew toys, but she's got certain ones that she loves, and while she abuses them, she loves them. So, like, I don't think the dog would look at the G and say, "I hate the Packers." I think the dog would look at the G and say, "Oh, this is my chew toy." So I would get a Vikings chew toy.
You go Vikings chew toy.
Vinny's a huge chew toy guy. I mean, he loves any toy we bring home that is for him. He goes absolutely ballistic. We brought him home not 1, but 2 toys from Vegas. And he has just been going nuts over the last 36 hours with these new toys. This brings up a good point, though, because my friend's dad, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, in his like new man cave when they built a new house, he's a huge Packer fan, gigantic Packer fan, and put a Packer-themed bathroom in his man cave. And I thought, wouldn't you want this to be a Vikings toilet that you are, urinating and going in, instead of it being your team's? Like, I think this is the opposite. Personally, I love using this bathroom because I grew up watching the Vikings. So I would probably side with him getting the enemy's toy because he's going to destroy it. That's where I would go with the dog situation here.
But the dog,
toys.
But the dog isn't setting out to destroy the toy out of anger. The toy is meant to be it's meant to be for fun. It's meant to be. I saw someone say in the comments, it's a reward. Toy is a reward. Look at him,
The devil.
just ready to go destroy.
You're panting and you're hot.
Just like Dad.
You're like insanely
Just like
warm
Judd.
right
Just like Judd at Declan's wedding.
Yep, panting and hot.
So I don't know. I would vote stick with the Vikings. Get the Vikings chew toy. Okay. Plus, like, company's gonna come over and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you get Packer stuff? You're a Packer fan?" You don't want people to misconstrue.
Yep.
Okay, Matthew Jacobs chimes in here and says, regarding your Ring of Honor podcast you guys did this week. So if you missed it yesterday, I ranked the 10 most deserving next Ring of Honor nominees for the Vikings, and then a bunch of honorable mentions. I noticed Jim Kleinsasser got missed. Not even an honorable mention for one of the best blocking tight ends ever and arguably the best dirty work Viking of all time. How does Kirk Cousins and Drama Diggs get mentioned but not Kleinsasser? I will say, total snub by me. And no mention from you guys either, by the way.
No, I didn't. No.
I would go so far as saying Jim Kleinsasser deserves to be fairly high up in the list of 10, like not even an honorable mention. He should be on the list of 10 somewhere. Yes, Jim Kleinsasser would be a great Ring of Honor candidate, and it's a complete embarrassing major snub by me yesterday. I apologize, Jim Kleinsasser.
And no, I did not, and I probably should have at least broached his name. But that being said, I wouldn't put him fairly high up on that list of 10. He did a lot, but your list, man, it brought to light how many guys aren't on there, and some of them were dominant. Some of them were absolutely.
I think Jim Kleinsasser deserves to be in and around where Steve Hutchinson is. Now, Hutchinson was a Hall of Famer at his position, but Kleinsasser was excellent at blocking, and he was.
I can't agree with that. Like, they're buddies, and they were both meat and potatoes guys. But Hutchinson, to your point, is a Hall of Fame player.
But Kleinsasser was career Viking,
how many
right?
Minnesota type guys that we like can we put in this ring? Like, Thielen is going in, okay, and he deserves to go in. Mm-hmm. Like, at some point in time, I want to put some of these guys. Perfect example: Keith Millard. Like, I wouldn't put guys like that who had these dominant seasons or dominant runs in. Kleinsasser's really good, and I liked
13
him.
years. 13 years for Jimmy Kleinsasser.
And I'm not putting him down. I'm just saying your list brought to light to me how many guys aren't in this thing that deserve it. Jimmy, we all love you. That's great. I mean, hell, Phil, you didn't bring up Matt Burke.
Matt Burke. People brought up Matt Burke, long time,
I'd put
really
Burke
good
in
center.
before Kleinsasser, personally.
Really?
But I mean, again, he's another Minnesota guy.
Yeah, they're all in kind of they're really good football players.
Yeah, exactly.
But the 13 years of dirty work for Jim Kleinsasser has to at least be in the discussion. And it was not in the discussion yesterday.
Burke wasn't either, and he probably should have been in the discussion.
What about Jeff Christie?
But I'm not
Jeff Christie won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, right?
But we're going down a rabbit hole now of these guys, to your point, that we're grinders, and we love grinders.
What about Carl Lester Crumpler? Jeff Dugan?
Chris Dishman.
Dishman.
I wonder what Jim Kleinsasser does for a living.
Does for a living?
Like I wonder what he does for a living. Yeah, like I know he's been retired from football, but he seems like a guy that
I don't think he needs to do anything for a living, does he?
I don't know.
You mean like for fun or for work?
Yeah, I guess a little bit for both, but like I could see him still wanting to work even though he's earned a lot of money.
I think he fishes and shoots things.
That sounds fun too.
A little hunting for Kleinsasser, that's my guess.
Yeah, like he made millions of dollars, right?
You know what he seems like the perfect guy, and I know a lot of people cannot watch Bally Sports North, but like the Bally's Outdoors show that like airs, I swear to God, 22 hours a day on that network. He seems like the perfect type of dude for that show.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Does he have any sort of...
I looked for LinkedIn. I couldn't find anything.
He's got nothing.
He's off the grid, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Is he just in North Dakota?
He hated attention. Nice guy, but he hated attention.
Okay, there is a post from a month ago from North Dakota Football's Instagram account.
Nice.
2025 College Football Hall of Fame ballot member Jim Kleinsasser. Congratulations, Jim Kleinsasser, on appearing on the 2025 National Football Foundation College Football Hall of Fame. So he could be a national college football Hall of Fame. By the way, I found it here on Spotrac. How much money would you guess Jim Kleinsasser made in his NFL career?
He got at least one big bag, like a 3-year, like at the time. But NFL salaries, I mean, it's still enough to live on for a long, long time. I'm gonna guess.
Million?
No, I'm gonna guess it's more. I'm gonna guess it's more than that. I'm gonna guess he made 45.
It's right between $32 million. Okay. $32 million for old Jimmy Kleinsasser.
But I mean, if you invest that, like that's the thing now. These guys get done playing and they don't have to work.
Yeah. What if he's just a terrible investor? What if
that's why they all have friends.
Old Jimmy.
The fear if you are an investor is if you trust a person that rips you off. That's the real fear.
Yeah, they just ride the market. Just don't get too. This is the problem when you get like the Kurt Schillings who like, I'm going to invest in a comic company or something. Like, nah, dude, just put it on the S&P 500. You'll be fine.
The guy that I really respect the more that we talk to him is Plouffe. Like Plouffe is an example. Plouffe is a perfect example of the modern day athlete retiring and then finding outlets to spend and invest on things that they enjoy.
Well, he made a bet on John Boy Media and then jumped in. I mean, so he makes a bet on John Boy, but then his presence as a former player entertainer also helps elevate it.
Exactly.
Brilliant all around.
I didn't know this. John Boy evidently has current players invested in the company as well.
Yeah.
Which is
like
great.
active current players.
Active current players, yeah. That's smart.
That's crazy. Let's see. A couple more here on the Ring of Honor. I'll speed through a couple of these here. Frank Marino takes issue with Stephon Diggs being on my list. So, well, he's the front man of the most prominent play in franchise history and was a really good player here for several years. But Frank says he's better known as a Buffalo Bill. He ran himself out of town, and very much like Percy Harvin, who wasn't mentioned either. And then Steve Eisenbray takes issue with Anthony Carter being third on the list, that it's hypocritical for us to come down on Jordan Addison for actions and behavior, but then put Anthony Carter third on the list, even though he's been arrested for domestic battery and other things. And we did discuss that. You wrote about it in Sporting News.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why he's not in the Ring of Honor, right? Because his play speaks loudly. But
Yep.
Okay. You know what else speaks loudly? Nicolay Law speaks loudly to those of you who are looking for some help after maybe an injury, a car accident of some kind. If you've been injured, get Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay. Nicolay Law, there's Russell Nicolay on the YouTube channel right now, just walking around the stadium. Nicolay Law, proud to serve the Twin Cities communities that they live in. They're just everyday normal folks who happen to have law degrees. And you can start your path to winning with Nicolay Law at nicolaylaw.com or give them a call at 1-855-NICOLAY. Next week, so the Open Championship is happening right now, and everyone's just getting smoked by the winds and the difficult conditions. I have a feeling we're going to see some low scores at the 3M Open next week. Maybe like a 20 or a 24 under, Dex.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, Lee Hodges gets to defend the title. Tony Finau had the big win there a couple years back. And at the 3M Open, the golf matters, the play matters, the shots matter, the scores matter. So get your tickets by going to 3mopen.com. That's the number 3, the letter M, open.com. Zach Johnson's going to be there. Billy Horschel will be there. Justin Rose making his first appearance, too, at the 3M Open. Go get your tickets by going to 3mopen.com.
Boys, breaking show news here.
Okay.
Breaking show news.
Okay. What do we have?
We've been invited to another wedding. It's the second wedding this summer, not even counting Declan's wedding. Technically it's the third wedding that we've been invited to by the Purple Daily community here. Matt and Ashley are tying the knot. I won't give away too many details here, but they're tying the knot late August. It's a 4:00 wedding, so you get in there, a little happy hour wedding.
Start time.
We do need to RSVP in the next 12 days here.
Okay.
And Judd, I'll send you the QR code for the registry because I know you are great at picking out registry gifts.
I have a wife that is very good at going through things and buying them. She's a pro when it comes to that.
So Matt and Ashley, Judd, do you want to go a little early, or do you want to get there right around 4? What do you think? What do you think the plan is? I know you love weddings.
I'd love to go, but here's my problem. I took my I took my suit back, so it's gone.
Well, it might not be a black tie wedding. You might be able to wear a casual.
Yeah, it says nothing about black tie.
You know what I've decided? Black tie or bust for me from now on. I felt so good in my suit. I felt so good. I felt so much like I'm a suit guy now that I'm like black tie or bust. So what? Is this in town? Is this close? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
I don't think I said where it was, in fairness to you. It is. It's within. I want to give away too many details here because it might be trying to keep this private, but it's within like 30 minutes of where you live.
Okay, they can't send you. If they invite us, they can't keep it private. It's out there.
It feels doing them a courtesy of not blasting where their wedding is. And
I know.
They sent us the invite that they sent their family members. So I'm saying,
it's out there now.
I think it's one thing to say, Matt and Ashley, thank you so much. Yep. We love the fact that you invited us to the wedding.
That's all
and then stop short of giving the address for where they're actually getting married.
I just want the suburb. I just want what area? Like, what's the suburb? 30 minutes from me. Is it St. Paul? Is it?
No, it's not St. Paul direction. It's more like south, kind of south.
No, that's too far. South. Burnsville. It's in Burnsville.
Why don't you list off 10 cities real quick?
Okay, so if we're going south, Burnsville, from me
just list them, and I'll let you know if you hit it.
It's not going to be 10. Burnsville, Apple Valley, Is Bloomington west of me?
It's
or
west,
is it...
but it's south. Yeah,
Egan.
West.
No, I'm not going to tell you if you got it. I'm just saying, like, why don't you list a bunch of them? I'll tell you.
This is ridiculous. I'm not going to do this.
It's been said. You have said the.
Okay. From now on, folks, if you are going to invite us and we read this on the show,
You're lecturing them.
We need the ability to have more information out there. This is a family. It's the Purple Daily.
No, they might not care. I'm just like I don't know that.
I think you're being far too nice. Send me the note next time. I'll out them.
Although they'd probably the Purple Daily audience might help stockpile things from that registry.
You know what you should do? Display the QR code so that everyone can have it and start to send them stuff.
For future wedding invites, if you give us permission to deliver all the information, we will. But we just don't need a bunch of random stranger Viking fans showing up. If maybe Ashley's side of the family just doesn't want a bunch of Phil and Judd's wandering around.
What if we did actually a contest? And the winner has their wedding as a Purple Daily event. And then we show up, we allow the audience.
So it'd be like a Purple Daily wedding, and we would like officiate it.
No. They could still do their thing but we would be there in attendance, and Vikings fans would all join us.
We could. What if we? So we have our. I think later this month we have our annual sports fantasy auction benefiting Courage Kenny. What if we put a Purple Daily wedding up for auction? I don't even know what that means, but if we just
time
put
to
it
get
up
a suit again, I'd go rent another suit for that. That sounds like fun, actually.
I feel like if you really want this black suit, you should stop. Speaking of investments and having good people tell you what to do with your money, you should probably just buy one.
Yeah, that's probably good. It was $130 for the whole thing, though.
To rent.
I told Phil they tried to be like, do you want the cummerbund? Do you want the hanky thing? I'm like, no, I just want a black suit. And the guy did say, well, ordinarily a black suit event is a tuxedo. And I'm like, no, I checked on that. In fact, I complained.
Motown 20 says, what are they talking about? It's a great question. No idea.
On air, we're having an on-air production discussion of a potential Purple Daily event.
Daniel Murphy chimes in and says, massive fan from Liverpool in the UK.
Nice.
I've been following the Vikings since 2022, so just for a couple years, and you guys have really helped me enjoy the sport, as listening to you has helped me understand the game as a whole at a new level. My question to you guys is, how do you feel about the NFL coming to the UK, Germany, Brazil, these other countries, etc.? I'm a massive Liverpool soccer fan, and I'm a bit of a hypocrite when it comes to soccer going to the U.S. because I would hate it if Liverpool played games over there. But I love when the Vikings come to London because I get to see them here. I went to the Saints game and have tickets to the Jets game. Love to know your guys' attitude on this, just to get a feel for how real fans of the Vikings think. Do we enjoy when the Vikings go play in Europe?
I do, yeah. And I think the league is doing the right thing here. Like, they're expanding, and it's once a week, and I think it's sort of cool when a game starts at 9:15 our time. I have no problem. I have a problem with baseball, and we've discussed this, opening the season overseas at 5 a.m. I think it's stupid. With football, I think they've done a great job. I have zero problem with it.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it being the one-off thing, though. A big reason why I'm not a more of a soccer fan or EPL fan is I'm not waking up at 6 to 7 a.m. to watch a sport my time. I know it's more prime time their time, which is fine, but me, I don't want to have to do that every day. I don't mind it for the Europe game that's once a year. That's fine. I'll wake up at on a Sunday and do that. But it's a timing thing for me.
I love as a morning person, probably more than you guys. I love the morning. The 8:30 kickoff for these London games is awesome. And then we do Ventline selfishly from noon until 1:30.
It's kind of nice, yeah.
And then you can either watch the rest of the football slate or you can go and enjoy your Sunday, whatever, little Sunday fun day. So and plus the crowds are rowdy and passionate. It's fun. I don't know, getting a team over there full time or a division over there, which appears to be where they're headed with this at some point. I don't know how I feel about that. I think I think that's one of those, as Mark Cuban says, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered situations.
That's an issue. That's an issue. But I think the league itself is expanding its games in a really smart way. And I think baseball is not.
Yeah. Okay, and then Adam Dickey, one last one before we get to our snake draft of the week, says, can you please bring back the movie rewinds on the Mackie and Judd podcast? Those are some of my favorite episodes of you guys. I'd like to see them year-round, but at least come back for the summer. I'm just curious, do you guys not have a couple hours a week to watch and review the movies? Appreciate the content. Keep up the good work. Two things. There is a podcast feed that goes back multiple years, movie reviews with Mackie and Judd, and we have like 80 or 90 movie reviews that we've done. Action movie rewinds, whatever. But I think, I don't know, I'll speak for the show a little bit. Dex is a beat podcaster for the Minnesota Twins now and doing Purple Daily. Flagrant Howls has really taken off as our second biggest podcast at Score North behind Purple Daily, and the Wolves ran all the way through May. And so, yeah, I guess we haven't had as much time compared to maybe previous years to even, because it's like you got to watch a movie for 2-3 hours and then put together episodes. Like I think it's probably more work than we give it credit for. And timing wise, like Dex is at the ballpark on a regular basis. So I don't know. We haven't found the time this summer.
I definitely was trying to stump for it in May, but then once the Wolves ran through late May, and then it was June, and then I'm getting married in a month. A lot of life things were happening, at least on my end, over the last 6 weeks. So I know it kind of fell through the cracks there, but I might try to go see Twister in this next week. Twisters.
It's a sequel, right?
Yeah, it's a sequel.
Okay.
So are they like the kids? Of Bill Pullman?
I think
Pullman,
so.
right?
I think one of them is
not Bill Pullman. It's
Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
Paxton.
Yeah.
And Glenn Powell is there's a certain member of my house, even though she married me just 6 days ago. That is a big time Glenn Powell fan.
So if Glenn Powell would have shown up before you guys walked down the steps,
yes, would have been over.
You would have just turned around and walked back up the steps, and
Yep. Still be doing this show, but yep. That would have been a thing.
Okay, fair enough.
No thoughts from Judd?
No, I said fair enough. Fair enough. It's a sensitive subject. I'm not gonna. Come on.
Well, no, either that or the movie reviews. We haven't heard your thoughts on the movie.
You guys explained it perfectly. Yeah, it's just. I thought that we were going to resume them in June, but then when the Wolves went deeper, and then we're doing more, and Phil especially, Flagrant Howls episodes. There really wasn't a downtime as far as I'm concerned. There really wasn't. If you hadn't had the planning to do for the wedding, Declan, I still don't know that there was a large downtime. And we're doing more Twin stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which you can find on the Score North Twin Show YouTube channel, brand new as of the beginning of this season, where Declan is pumping out content on a regular basis. Yeah, I mean, shameless plug, Score North Twin Show, Apple, Spotify, if you're a Twins fan. Okay, snake draft of the week time, gentlemen.
Love it.
It's become a Friday feature here where we take your suggestions for topics you'd like to see us do drafts on. And this week's snake draft of the week is the worst household chores.
Oh, I love this.
The worst household chores. And before we get to the draft order and the number one overall pick, the Meadows at Mystic, we're doing a giveaway, right, or a contest on the Score North app, Dex?
Yeah, we've been doing an app giveaway for the last few months, and if you'd like to enter it, you can do so by just going to download the Score North app. We're teaming up with the Meadows at Mystic Lake, and we're giving away a 1 stay and play golf package for 4 each month, all season long. Prizes include 2 rounds of golf with cart at the Meadows at Mystic Lake, and 1 night stay at Mystic Lake Casino for 4. Again, all you have to do, go download the Score North app, enter through the listener rewards tab, and enter to win one of these great packages from our friends at the Meadows at Mystic Lake.
All right. So here's the draft order. Declan gets the number 1 overall pick. I go second, and then Judd gets the third and the wraparound for the second round. It'll be a 3-round snake draft. So Dex, Phil, Judd, back to Judd, Phil, Dex, and then Dex with the back-to-back into Phil, and then Judd, you get the final pick. So The worst household chores. I think there's kind of a loose definition here.
Yeah.
If we land on something that's controversial, we can discuss it. But any questions before Declan goes on the clock with the first pick?
Nope.
Okay.
Not for me. I'm ready. I'm locked in.
I feel like there's a few options. Like I think I know the unanimous option that people would choose, and I did do some brief research this morning on some of the worst chores. The two are they kind of confirmed some of the ones that I already had thought of, but there was maybe a one or two that I wasn't thinking of. Like, oh, that's a good one. So I'll take the number one pick here. Cleaning the bathroom. I'm not cleaning the bathroom. Like maybe specifically the toilet. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I got no problem.
There's actually
No, but like you just get to determine that you don't clean the bathroom. That's just
she cleans the bathroom.
okay.
Yeah.
But is it because you don't clean the bathroom, or does she find some enjoyment or doesn't trust you to clean the bathroom?
I would say all those things are correct.
Okay.
Yes, I would say all three of those things
I didn't
put
used
in a
to.
perfect stew.
I didn't for a long time. Now
Okay.
I do more often.
Cleaning the bathroom. And even that, I will say, that was a thing I had to do as a kid, and I always hated it. So cleaning the bathroom is my number one overall pick.
Okay. That puts me on the clock here with the second overall pick. So many options here.
There are a lot.
Yep.
I'm going to say hand washing dishes.
Oh, that's a bad one.
I love that.
Oh, I know Judd.
What?
Yeah,
I
know
love to
Judd
hand
loves
wash.
I knew
dishes.
that you did that, and like it was on
I
your
enjoy
list. I
it.
didn't know that you loved hand washing dishes.
Yeah.
Can't stand
I
it.
enjoy that.
What do you enjoy about it?
My father does too, and so did my sister. So does my sister. It's
Getting
the
them
weirdest
cleaned
thing.
out, the sense of accomplishment, the fact that you dictate what the dish looks like when it's done. Well, there's a lot of things. I actually find it relaxing.
What?
I do.
Yeah,
I find it relaxing.
Dude, my father was like this. My sister loves doing. It's like her therapeutic thing before she goes to bed is she hand washes dishes. I know people like this.
I would rather
Right.
use every dish. Like I'd literally rather use a frying pan for a plate and run out of dishes
Yeah, you know what
than
this
wash
is?
dishes by hand. And then I'd rather just throw those dishes away and buy new dishes than wash them by hand.
This is the same thing as your infatuation with taking the gas tank down to E. I love nothing more. There's nothing that drives me crazier than when I don't have forks left because they're all dirty. I love to hand wash dishes.
We run our dishwasher every single day, sometimes twice. I know that might be bad for the environment, they say. I don't even know. Maybe it is good. I have no idea. But we are a throw it in the dishwasher family.
Oh, yeah.
We
Right
love
away.
doing that.
So you don't let it pile up. You just throw
No.
it right away.
No. Yeah.
Okay. You know, when I was in college, my last 2 years, it was me and three buddies, and we lived at University of Minnesota. We were off like 27th and Como neighborhood, and we were in this older house that did not have a dishwasher, and it's 4 21-year-old idiots. Nobody did like it was literally just it was a pile of dishes for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then
That's disgusting. That is absolutely
you would just
disgusting.
like I would just use paper plates and plastic utensils, and I would
paper
stay away
plates are
from the
great.
sink.
I do agree with that. Paper
I've
plates are
done
great.
this. I did this in college a couple times.
Spencer T says, I've thrown dishes away to avoid washing.
Yeah, I've done it. Oh, I've done it. Especially at move out time. Yeah.
And at that age,
Yep.
like I'm not saying that I enjoyed this chore as a young man. I've grown to enjoy it. So like it's not like a life. It's
Brady
not like a
LaRock
lifestyle.
says, F those dishes, laugh
Great
out
shirt.
loud.
But paper plates
Oh, man.
are huge. Like if you're gonna have an ordinary, like if you're doing like I don't know, brats, right? Burgers, use paper plates. Don't ruin what I've done with your simple meal.
Judd, you're on the clock here with
You
back-to-back
guys
picks.
have left. You guys have left me just an outstanding mix of chores.
Well, the fact that I took one that would have been on your
Yeah.
favorite
I knew
household
Judd
chores
liked this.
list.
was
I
on
was
my
delighted to hear that.
Yeah.
I was delighted to hear that.
Oh, man.
Okay, my number one pick is dusting.
Yeah.
I hate dusting. Dawn and I, so like I do now at my age, I do a lot of household chores. You know, I do laundry, I do the dishes, I do a lot of like stuff, which is fine. No complaints. Neither one of us dusts though, and so every once in a while, like in my room here, I gotta go through and dust. I hate it. It's tedious.
What do you use to dust?
Either a paper towel and some, I don't know, spray stuff for like wood or something like that. Or a cloth. The problem with a cloth is it
just pushes the dust around.
Yeah.
And it gets dirty and then it's filled with crap. A paper towel is good because you get done with one, you throw it away, you use another paper towel.
Judd here for Swiffer. I mean, have you like a Swiffer?
Well, that brings up you actually just hit on my second choice.
Oh boy, here we go.
Mopping.
Dang it!
Mopping. I mop. I'll say this. I mop the kitchen. First of all, it's the only household chore I work up a sweat doing. Like, I actually start to sweat when I mop. And, like, you get those, and we've got a floor we should have replaced, but it's one of those, old school kitchen floors, I don't know what it's called. But anyway, like, you get some stuff on there, and you're, like, trying to scrub it. Like, can I get this out?
Do you use
I hate to mop.
like the traditional sort of cliche mop, or
not anymore? No. We bought or Dawn bought a thing that you put like a pad on that can be disposed of after, and then we've got some type of like, not hardwood floor. What's the floor called? It's not hardwood. It's
like a I don't know, tile, like
tile.
porcelain.
Yeah, I don't know, but
these are the wrong two guys to ask.
I spritz that.
Yeah,
I spritz that up, and I go like that. I hate it.
Concrete.
Yeah.
No, it's linoleum.
Linoleum. Yeah,
that's what I was.
It was on the
think
tip of my tongue.
Linoleum. Yeah, concrete.
Oh man.
Anyway,
okay.
so
Wow. Okay.
dusting and mopping.
Dusting and mopping. Okay, that brings us back to I'm on the clock here with my second pick. Oh man, there's so many. All right, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna say folding laundry.
Oh,
Folding laundry.
Dawn does that.
Listen, I'm all good just throwing them in, washing the clothes. But then when it comes time, now it's going to take me a half hour to fold the laundry. I'd rather just leave the clean clothes in a pile and grab from the pile.
oh no!
But now you're creating like a mess in your room, and it's.
Iron it.
You gotta fold.
If you like it that much and it's clean, iron it. But I'm with Phil. And here's my problem. Beyond towels, I don't know how to fold. Like a
People
shirt.
fold differently. She does not like how I fold my shirts compared to how she folds mine.
We fold differently here too.
Yep.
Who worked in retail, so like she's an expert folder.
Yep.
She's tried to teach me. I don't know. I can't comprehend it.
Yeah. You just crumple it up in a ball and throw it.
But I mean, like if I try and do like fold your shirt, right? Like if I try,
I need a shirt.
I inevitably don't do it right. And it's not like her fault. She's good at it. So like she folds. She's like the Sidney Crosby of folding. And I'm a
Who are you?
line.
Who are you?
I'm a fourth line. I am.
You're Tory
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Let's see here. Cal Clutterbuck of folding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're over to Declan here.
Oh.
Back-to-back picks to round out the second round and to start. These are your last two picks.
All right. I'm glad this one made it because it's technically an outside chore, but I hated this so much as a kid. Raking leaves.
Oh.
Raking leaves. I'm a little surprised this made it all the way down here.
Well, I thought we were in the house only.
I think around the house. Around the house.
I'm fine with this. Get a guy, Declan.
Yes.
My guy Juan, $120, whole yard, front and back. Great.
Is that a monthly thing or is that a one-time fee?
No, it's a one-time fall thing, and it's a game too because you can't get them out there too early, but then you hope it doesn't snow, or if it snows, it melts. Because like you don't want your leaves all picked up like October 15th because they're not all off the tree.
Declan's got this look at it.
I don't know if that's like the best way. I feel like you could be getting robbed here. Like I feel like
Oh no. Any prices I'm fine with. Don't tell Juan.
We need to talk to Juan about his pricing structure here. That's what it
no.
sounds like.
I think I'm fine with the pricing
My
structure.
neighbor, he comes out, I kid you not, like starting in like when the leaves start to fall, and like every Saturday or Sunday, he'll rake every week.
Yeah, some people enjoy it.
Maybe
I'd
it's
rather.
exercise for him. I don't know. Maybe
Also,
I
like
don't enjoy it.
My dad would try to make me do it as a kid. Like when football was on, I was missing football, so I have some PTSD when it comes to raking leaves.
So I grew up on a hobby farm with like 7 acres of. So riding the lawnmower was always kind of fun for me, but the pre-process, raking leaves and acorns that fell down from the oak trees so that they don't mess up the blade. Like if I could put specific to my childhood, picking up the sticks and the acorns from the oak trees before you mow, torture.
Oh my God. Well, that's a lot of work. My mom, when I mowed as a kid, and our yard where I grew up, it wasn't huge, but it was big. She wanted me to bag while I mowed.
Oh yeah, we bagged.
Oh,
we bagged.
I'm going to tell you right now, Judd, don't bag.
Mm-hmm.
I bagged a few times, but I'm like, because you got to stop all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stop every time. So I'm like, Mom, I'm done bagging. I'll mow the lawn, but I'm done bagging. And when we bought ours here, and of course it's a smaller yard, at first Dawn's like, you should bag. I'm like, Judd, don't bag.
Yeah. Well, we've entered the final round here, boys,
Yeah.
of the
one more pick.
worst household chores list. So, Declan, you get the first pick in the third round.
Okay, so I'm between two because one of them is another outdoor one that I did do as like a kid and as an adult even. But I feel like also you can get around this one by having proper install. The other chore I have on the list is something I have never done, and it's something that I'm not looking forward to ever doing. So I'm going to say, because it's a chore I've never done and I do not look forward to doing this, is painting.
Oh.
Well, that's a good one.
Painting.
Didn't even think of that.
I'm just looking.
Does that fall under a more of a project-based thing? Because I think when I think of chore, I think of like it's a repeatable
it's a
thing.
requireable. Okay.
But you could
Okay.
paint.
I feel like
No, I agree with Phil.
Okay.
I feel like because if we're talking projects, now it's like okay, that opens up a whole new world.
That's not a
of
chore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will say this: gutters. Gutters.
Cleaning the gutters.
Cleaning the gutters. Now I know you can get those guards now. It does make life easier. So like I understand that, but man, I used to have to clean the gutters and getting number one.
Yeah.
I don't like heights, so being on a ladder just terrified the crap out of me. And then you're like, so you're on a balancing act and you're just grabbing this goop and throwing it on the ground. Then again, you have to rake up the goop. Where do you put the goop? So cleaning the gutters will round out my last pick.
Okay.
Go to Menards, get those big bags
Yeah.
that you put leaves in, stick it at the bottom of where you're cleaning and just drop it in. So it doesn't end up on the ground then. Because then it goes into the bag. The best thing that happened to me was like a year ago, my ladder snapped. I can't clean the gutters these days. I hated cleaning the gutters. I'm with you.
But somebody has to clean the gutters, right? You just leave the gunk in there.
We'll do it.
I think you can tell that Phil Mackey and Declan Goff have been renting their entire lives with some.
Well,
of these picks
I
so
put
far.
in a lot of work
At a
living
farm,
on a
though.
farm
That's
until
true.
but then like ever since I basically got out of
I feel like
high
the farm
school.
life though is a lot like you're
Dude, you wanna
talking
talk about
maintenance stuff that I don't even would never dream
literally
of.
here's a truck
I'd
with
move.
250 bales of hay and you need to move them off the truck and into the
Judd, don't
I'm
do that.
running away.
Yeah,
There was a lot.
exactly. I'm going to find a new fam at that point in time. Smaller house, smaller yard. Small yard, something to be said for that, boys.
Okay, this is the second to last pick in the worst household chores draft, and I feel like this might be the steal of the draft. With my final pick,
You're going to take one of mine.
I will select snow shoveling.
Oh, I love this.
Shoveling
Declan's fan.
snow. Okay. I mean the hard, the wet, heavy,
Yeah.
crappy snow. It's cold.
I keep
it's
telling Dawn when because I do take this chore. I keep saying at my age, I don't think I should be doing it now.
The heart attacks now.
The ticker could go.
Mm-hmm.
Like and what would happen then? I'd be dead, so I couldn't do this
Yeah.
show anymore.
and so she's like, yeah, you should keep
She'd be out a husband. My hot sports takes would be gone from the planet.
Yeah, she's risking purple daily by making you shovel
Yeah,
snow.
yeah.
She needs to understand.
Yeah. And
like,
let's
you can
just
get
say this. PD puts food on the table
That's
for her
right.
and Stella.
That's right.
I mean, but you can get a blower. Like if you ever used a blower, I think that's more fun. You know, I know there's some work there though. Like you get it. Sometimes people only want the electric one because they don't want to be able to deal with the gas. But then if you have electric one, you could swallow up the cord, which I've done before. So then that turns into a project. Yep, the whole thing.
Well, here it is. This is the Mr. Irrelevant of the 3-round worst household chores snake draft. It's Judd with the final pick.
I'm going to stay inside the house because that's my main chore thing. In fact, I was outside last night. I was actually not only cut the grass, but because we've had so much damn rain, I was weeding, which is just a pain in the ass. I hate pulling weeds. But anyway.
Yeah, weed whipping too. Just anything to do with like weeds.
I need a weed whacker is what I need. Yeah. In fact, I think I might go get one. Anyway, I'm staying inside the house, and I am amazed that this fell. Vacuuming.
You know what? I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I don't mind vacuuming.
Yeah.
I don't like to vacuum.
Okay.
You got to go get the vacuum. Then you got to plug the vacuum in, and then you inevitably suck up something or goes.
Not if you have a no plug charging vacuum,
which is what we have.
I should introduce you to the Dyson that we have, which is
we don't.
Very light.
Well, this
great.
sounds like
we're a big Dyson family
sounds
as
like
well.
a potential spec spot for Dyson.
The charge holds for about an hour, and then you can plug it in.
Don't you hate when you suck up something though in the vacuum like a?
The Dyson doesn't happen a whole lot. The Dyson is it's a wide tube, and there's different settings on it. Power max setting. Michael says, has Dawn upgraded life insurance on Chudley?
I've suggested it actually. We've got a policy that goes way back to like when we were like in our 20s. And like we've got life insurance, but I have suggested, I said, you should get more.
But like the older you get, it's more like
more expensive.
More expensive.
But I mean, things are expensive. Funerals, which is why I'm going cremation.
Well, you can still do a funeral and be cremated.
Well, yeah, I know, but have you guys seen coffin costs?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Coffin costs.
Yeah. Don't put me in a coffin. I've seen too many casket matches. I don't want.
I'm out of a coffin. Yeah. You know what? I never thought until the last 5 years or so, cremation, and spread some of the ashes around.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Target field.
So here's the results of our worst chores snake draft. Declan goes with cleaning the bathroom, raking leaves, and cleaning the gutters. Judd goes with dusting, mopping, and vacuuming. And I go with hand washing dishes, folding laundry, and shoveling snow. We'll put the poll up on the Score North Twitter /X
You don't
page
shovel, right, Phil?
Later on today.
Or do you with your
I do have an area that I need to shovel, yes.
Okay.
It's not quite what it was when you're, shoveling a farm to pave a path to the barn and whatnot, but yeah. I don't shovel nearly as much as I have in different parts of my life, but there's a reason for that. I'd rather live somewhere that I don't need to shovel a lot.
Oh, I'm with you on that.
Because shoveling sucks. Unless you're Declan.
And can kill you.
I love the plow. I love the snowblower. It's great. Love it.
So there we go. Okay, who won the worst chores snake draft? Let us know in the YouTube comments, and keep sending us suggestions for snake draft topics. Somebody sent us 15 of them yesterday that we can get to.
I love this
at some point. We got a bunch of breakfast cereals. Someone threw out there iconic movie villains. That could be kind of a fun one.
Yeah, household chores is good though.
All right.
Yeah. This is
JJ
official.
McCarthy. Well, that's not super shocking news, but it looks like JJ McCarthy signed his rookie contract.
There you go.
Yeah, Schefter has it.
So there you go. He's going to show up to training camp. I don't think there was any fear that he wasn't going to show up to training camp, but JJ McCarthy.
Dallas Turner.
He's next.
I guess.
Yep. All right, boys. Be on the lookout for Purple Access for Event Line with Dex, and then next week training camp begins. Full steam ahead. Purple Daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.